Hello, welcome to this video. In this video, we will be exploring how we can use Geometry Sketchpad in order to help us construct a circumscribed circle about a given triangle. But before we begin this construction, I want to review a few key definitions that will help us successfully complete this construction when you have a solid understanding of those terms. So the first definition is that what is the meaning of circumscribed? So a circle is circumscribed about a polygon if the circle contains all the vertices of the polygon. So therefore, when we're talking about a circumscribed circle about a given triangle, it means the circle will be around the triangle and contain the three vertices of the triangle. Those three vertices will lie on one circle. And then the second definition is that of circumcenter. So the circumcenter is the point of concurrency of the perpendicular bisectors of a triangle. So what it means by point of concurrency is when three or more lines intersect in one common point. So this common point then, when we are looking at the perpendicular bisectors of each of the three sides of the triangle, those perpendicular bisectors intersect in one common point, and that common point is called the circumcenter. And it turns out that this circumcenter becomes the center of our circumscribed circle that we are looking for. Okay, so now that we've covered some basic definitions, let's dive into this construction. So first, we want to consider the given information, and we want to start with a triangle. So go to your line segment tool and construct a triangle. And I'm going to make an obtuse triangle. You can make an acute or right. The process is still the same. And for clarity's sake, I'm going to label each of the points by right-clicking the point and clicking Show Label. Go down to Show Label, and then do it again for the third vertice. Okay, so now we have our triangle. So now our next step will be to construct the perpendicular bisectors of at least two of the sides of the triangle. So I'm first going to construct the perpendicular bisector of line segment AC. So to do so, you want to first start with creating a circle centered at A that goes at least halfway across this line segment. And I do have a video on how to create perpendicular bisectors of a line segment, so it may be helpful for you to go find that video on my channel and review that first before finishing this video. But anyways, so as we want to make this perpendicular bisector of line segment AC, I first draw this circle centered at A, and I want to find the radius. So I'm going to right-click the circle, go down to radius, and the radius of circle centered at A is 9.49 centimeters. So now I want to create a congruent circle, but centered at C. So I'm going to click C for my center, click the radius I want, and come up to Construct, and click Circle by Center and Radius. So now it created a congruent circle for me. And so now I want to label the points of intersection here. So the point of intersection of these two circles, we know this is the intersection point because both circles are highlighted red. And likewise down here. So now I want to just right-click those points so that I can label them. So right-click, go down to Show Label, and then right-click and go down to Show Label. And I'm going to go ahead and move the label for this point down so we can clearly see this is point F, the intersection of the circles, and this is point D that just lies on circle A. So now my final step to construct the perpendicular bisector is get my line tool and connect the intersections of E and point F. So line EF is the perpendicular bisector of line segment AC. And I'm going to go ahead and hide these two circles so that our next step doesn't get too confusing with everything going on the screen. So I'm going to click Hide Circles, and those don't disappear. If you would need to reference those circles later on in the construction, you can go back up to Display and click Show All Hidden. So now my next step is, since we want the point of concurrency of the perpendicular bisectors, I need to create now a second perpendicular bisector of line segment BC. So I'm going to start with the same process, create a circle around B that's at least halfway. Now, since I want to create a congruent circle centered at C, I need to find the radius of this circle by right-clicking the circle and going down and hitting radius. So this radius is 4.88 centimeters. So when I want to create now a congruent circle centered at C with this same radius, so highlight both of those elements, click Construct, and then circle by center and radius. So now I want to label those 2 points of intersection. So I'm going to highlight, both circles are highlighted red, so that means that is the intersection point, along and likewise down here. Now I'm going to right click each of these points so that I have a clear label for each of them. And these labels just help us keep everything straight as we're going through this construction. So now the last bit of piece is to connect H and I to form that line and that perpendicular bisector. So again, I'm going to hide these two circles so we can see our work thus far. So I'm going to click Hide Circles. So line HI is the perpendicular bisector of BC. So now I'm thinking that this point right here will be my point of concurrency. So I'm going to go ahead and put that point there and label it by right-clicking it. But I want to go ahead and find the perpendicular bisector of line segment AB so that we can clearly see how this perpendicular bisector will also pass through point J. So again, we're going to follow the same steps, do a circle centered at A, that's at least halfway. Right-click the circle to find the radius. So this radius is 5.4 centimeters, and now I want to create a congruent circle centered at B with that radius. Come up to Construct and go down to Circle by Center and Radius. So we're using the center B and the specified radius of 5.4. And now I'm going to label those intersections of the circles. So as you can see, this is a very similar process for each. We're just repeating it 3 times because we want to find the perpendicular bisector of each of the 3 sides. So now I just need to connect the intersections of the 2 circles. And you can see that that third perpendicular bisector also passes through this point J. So that point J is our circumcenter, because if you refer back to the definition of circumcenter, it's when all 3 perpendicular bisectors of the triangle intersect in one common point. So I'm going to hide these 2 circles. So we're not done yet. Let's remind ourselves what we're trying to find. We're trying to find a circumscribed circle about our initial triangle here. So all we need to do is use the center to make a circle, and the circle will pull out to pass through the 3 vertices. So it passes through C, and then as you can see, it also passes through B and A as well. So just since there's a lot going on, I'm going to go ahead and hide these 3 lines by highlighting them, Display, and click Hide Lines. So now you can clearly see that this triangle, the 3 vertices of this triangle all lie on this circumscribed circle. And that is how you create a circumscribed circle about a given triangle on Sketchpad.